Well, we're on air with Barbara Marshall. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very well, thank you. And yes, it was lovely to get that drop of rain.
Yes.
As I said, the only downside for us is that today is the annual Arthurs Creek Garden Walk, where we have, I think, 5 or 6 gardens in the district open, plus all of the activities at the Arthurs Creek Hall, exhibitions and plant sales, morning tea and afternoon tea. It's a fabulous day for the community.
So if anybody wants to go to this, and I really don't, you can brave the weather. Can you look it up on the net or something like that to make sure you know where to go?
Yes, you can look it up on the internet or Facebook, and certainly just turn up to the Arthurs Creek Hall.
Terrific, just Arthurs Creek. That probably, even if you just plugged in Arthurs Creek, it might go straight to it.
Yes, Arthurs Creek Mechanics Institute is the community hall.
Right, yeah.
And always the gardens are just exquisite. They're wonderful.
All right, maybe I will even go. It sounds lovely. I don't care. I'll brave the rain.
I'd rather see the gardens in the rain than in the heat.
Yes. Yeah.
And we've been very fortunate because that little bit of warm weather has brought so many of the spring plants out, and the roses are looking fantastic. So later in the month, another couple of weeks, they'll be gone.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Now's the time to see them.
Right.
It's always a great day.
Definitely, it sounds good. So anybody out there, if you've got nothing to do today and you're looking for something to do in the last minutes, that they've got plenty at Arthurs Creek.
Yes, I think for people in the area of Nillumbik, and Plenty, where we all suffer from the same lack of decent topsoil and irregular water. It's great to see what people have been able to achieve.
Yes, and
in this environment.
Well, everybody's got a similar environment. Well, I know in South Morang, ours is very similar to that. We had nothing when we first arrived at our place. Not even grass would grow. It was awful.
Yes, I think that's learning what people have been able to do.
Is important.
Yes, it's very inspiring. I think to see a variety of plants and garden styles that you can adapt to your own property, and get lots. The other thing is get lots of advice from the people who are there with their gardens open.
Yeah. Okay.
Who will say, yes, well, this worked for me and this one didn't, and it's great advice.
Well, that sounds good. I certainly know there were spots in our garden we dubbed the electric chair spots, and they are growing prolifically now. So definitely advice is important, and it does work. So don't con yourself into believing you won't be able to do it. Yes, you can. Get some advice and do it.
Yes, there's always lots of inspiration to be had, and it's much as I like seeing the grand open gardens of Macedon and the Dandenongs.
Yeah.
It's great to see gardens where you know that the people have had the experience with a very similar set of problems that you have yourself.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All right, now you're going to be talking about how to get rid of gall wasps is it just from orange trees or lemon trees, or is it from other citrus trees?
All citrus.
All citrus.
Right. Some are more susceptible than others. Gall wasps, I think it's the bane of everyone's life in Melbourne.
And it's easy to see when you've got it, isn't it?
Gall wasp is actually an Australian native wasp.
Yeah.
And it stings the new growth on citrus trees. And it leaves a nasty little... It makes a nest in the new growth. lays its eggs. And, of course, as they grow, they create a lump in the twiggy branch. And these can get really quite large and unsightly. And then in the first couple of weeks in November, the wasps emerge and sting the next lot of growth. So the general way of treating them has been that you prune them heavily, cut all the galls off. So prune quite heavily in June or July, and quite often that skeletonises the tree. It's very, very hard on citrus trees because they don't normally need pruning to that extent, not like deciduous fruit trees. So that's been kind of the received wisdom, is to cut the galls out, or if you've only got a small tree, to use a scalpel or a box knife, Stanley knife, to actually cut through each little gall before they emerge, before the wasps emerge, and that will kill the eggs. I mean, if you've got only one small citrus tree, that's probably not an unreasonable way to do it. But gosh, it's labour intensive, and you really need to get them all to try and control the wasps, because the galls are very unsightly and they will affect the vigour of the tree. So you'll see the effect on fruit. It becomes a bit distorted and it's not very attractive. It won't kill the tree, but it doesn't look very nice. So I followed a group up around Trentham who were doing some experiments with organic ways, other ways to control gall wasp. And obviously large citrus orchards don't go around and try and
cut their galls.
cut the galls every year. That we'd be paying $10 a lemon if that was the case.
Yeah.
And I discovered that they were doing the group in Trentham. I think they're called Root, Seed and Leaf. I can't quite remember the name, but they were doing some experiments or trials on whether or not a blocker, a material that would actually block the wasps, because they're very, very tiny. The netting would not help. Would be able to stop the infestations, and they started using a material called Surround, and Surround is a very, very fine powdered kaolin clay, and by mixing it with water and then spraying on the trees just as the wasps are about to emerge, it coats the new growth, the twiggy bits that the wasp will sting, and stops them stinging it.
Right.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Your timing is the most important thing, but apparently the wasps only come out in the first 2 weeks in November, and then make immediately sting the new growth.
Right.
So I thought I'd have a go at trying to use this material. So last year I sprayed, actually the year before, I sprayed the trees with the kaolin. I should actually add in here that when I started looking for it, it was only available to commercial fruit growers. No, that's really excuse me, most unfortunate. However, Bulleen Art and Garden then started repackaging it into kilo packets or half-kilo packets, and I think it's available through Nillumbik Nursery. But you could certainly Google Surround as that's its brand name, and I think when you buy it, it's not called that. I think it's just called Kale and Clay. So I did get a kilo of it, and I mixed it up with water, and you have to keep it agitated a lot because it will clog up a spray if you're not careful.
Right. Let's just hold that thought for the moment.
My citrus trees. I didn't spray all of them. I sprayed half of them.
Right. Barbara, let's just hold that thought for a moment. We'll do a quick promo, a quick message, and we'll be back and let these people sit on the edge of their seats and see what happens.
Okay.
Your local station. Your local station. Your locomotion station. The station with the location.
That's us. 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.
The Rotary Club of Eltham draws members from the area with a diverse range of backgrounds who share a passion for community service, upholding the values of service beyond self. Members work on projects that support our local community and run youth and student exchange and education programs, building great friendships along the way. The club meets Thursdays at the Heidelberg Golf Club from 6:45pm and holds special evenings featuring guest speakers on a range of community-minded topics. To find out more information about the Rotary Club of Eltham, email admin@rotaryeltham.org.au. Proud group member of 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. Join Plenty Valley FM every Saturday afternoon at 6 for The Heaters On, bringing you 2 hours of fabulous music from the 70s to today, with segments including Rock Profile, What's Happening and Step Back in Time. The Heaters On, every Saturday afternoon at 6 on your local station. 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. The Heaters On.
Okay, we've been talking to Barbara Marshall. She's been explaining how to get rid of gall wasps with an organic solution and we want to know how effectively it worked. You've sprayed your plants with half your solution a couple of years ago, and what happened?
Oh, thanks, Hilary. Well, it was quite interesting that some of the trees that I sprayed had virtually no gall wasp on their new growth.
Yeah.
The trees that I didn't spray most certainly did. So that was a bit of a test to see whether or not the Surround spray worked. The trees that I did spray looked a bit peculiar for a couple of weeks because they had this sort of white dust all over them. But after 2 or 3 weeks, it gradually washes off, and it just goes into the soil, and it's just clay. It doesn't do anything. It's just inert. So this year, probably in the next 10 days, I will get ready to spray all of the trees, all of my citrus, and I have about 15, 20 varieties of citrus, and I'll spray the ones that not all citrus trees, I might add, are susceptible to gall wasp. I think they'll all get a little bit, but most of the orange family are fairly resistant. So I have Seville and Valencia and blood oranges, and none of those trees are very susceptible to gall wasp. So even though I'll probably give them a bit of a spray, they're not likely to be affected. But anything from the lemon and lime family, lemons, lime, citrons, are very susceptible to gall wasp, and it's horrible with them. So I will spray all of those quite thoroughly, and hopefully have no infestation again. I didn't this year. I didn't spray my lemon tree last year, and I do notice that I did get a lot of gall, and I've given that a bit of a haircut, and so it's easier for me to actually reach it to spray now. So I'll spray that thoroughly, and hopefully none of the limes had gall, which was really very pleasing. So I think it is definitely a method worth trying because it's easy for the home gardener. You don't have to get out there with a scalpel and try and find every little bump and cut into it. And it's completely inert. So you don't have to worry about any effect on other insects or any toxins or poisons. It's wonderful.
That's great.
The only downside is that you have to be careful, perhaps not to spray the trees when they're flowering, because it will probably prevent a bit of fertilisation.
Yeah.
So my citrus trees are in full flower now, and by the time I spray in about 10 days or a week, most of those will have been fertilised, and I don't think they'll have much impact on the crop. So timing, it's all about the timing.
Okay. Well, we are warned, and I've just been given the tap on the shoulder. We'll have to finish up now. So thank you very much, Barbara. It's been great.
Thank you, Hilary, and thank you for the invitation, and good luck, everyone, with your citrus, and hope to see some of you at the Arthurs Creek Garden Walk.
Definitely. So look out for that. Go to the net. And it's a great place to go today.
Okay, bye.
Bye.